Okay, I've just emptied the hot Pate Choux. Well, it's not Pate Choux yet, but I just emptied the hot paste into the mixing bowl. You can do this by hand as well. And I am going to turn this on low speed in order to cool it off. If you remember, we still have the eggs to add. But I need to make sure that this mix is not too hot before I add the eggs, okay? This mix, eggs cook at about 140 degrees. I need to make sure this mix is less than 140 degrees before I add the eggs. So I just know it's very, very hot. I can not keep my hand on the bowl, so it is too hot to add the eggs. So basically what we did was we cooked the paste. So we cooked the starch, and now we're going to add a lot of eggs, and the eggs are actually the moisture of the eggs is going to explode in the oven and cause a great deal of leavening. Well-made Pate Choux expands to 4 times its volume, and so it should expand and leave a nice empty pocket in the middle that's ready for filling with whatever you'd like to fill. So once this paste is ready, I'll be piping it out into a couple of different shapes. So you have several things happening. We are making the paste. After the paste, we need to pipe and bake it, and then later on we'll fill it. So on low speed, it doesn't take too long for the heat to leave. Really, I don't need it to be cold. I just need it to be less than 140 degrees. Again, because I don't want to cook the eggs in the bowl. Just to show you, so it was pretty hot. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get this on camera. It is 128 degrees. I'm not sure if you can see this. I'm going to check it in a couple of different spots. 132 degrees. So we're fine. As long as we're below 140 degrees, then we know that the eggs won't cook. So now I'm going to turn it back on, and I'm going to add these eggs in 4 parts. As soon as the egg has been mixed in, if it looks uniform, I'll add another egg. This is one of the very few things that I don't usually stop and scrape as I go. I'll wait until the end to scrape. Sometimes I lift up the bowl a little bit when it's not going to be mixing evenly. So that egg has been mixed in, and I'll add another quarter of the eggs. If you add all of the eggs at once, or if you add too big a portion of eggs, it won't mix uniformly. Just going to lift the bowl up a little bit to make sure that it mixes uniformly. Okay, and then I'm going to add another portion of the eggs. Then I'm going to show you what's really important is checking the consistency to make sure that we have enough liquid in there. If it's too stiff, we'll add a little bit of that extra egg that we saved. I prefer to do this on low speed, although some people do raise the speed of the mixer. I prefer to give the mix sufficient time to absorb the eggs. You can see that the mix changes quite a bit as you incorporate the eggs. So I don't see any eggs now. It looks fairly homogeneous. And I'm going to add the rest of the egg that I have. At this point, I'm going to stop and scrape the bowl. You can stop and scrape this as you go, but I have found that it doesn't seem to matter too much if you wait until the end to do the scraping. So it's very important when you scrape that you do a real good job on the paddle. You don't want to leave any real firm pieces that don't have the eggs mixed in. So after I scrape, I'm going to get all that back in there. And then I'm going to just mix it up for another moment or two to mix in everything that I scraped. So now I'm going to check. To me, it looks a little bit stiff. It's not really flowing too much. What I'd like is to pull this out, and it should form a V. It's a little bit stiff. It's not really, I don't want it to be too runny, but this is a little tiny bit stiff, probably because of how long I cooked it. So I'm going to add another tablespoon of my extra egg, and that should make the consistency just about perfect. So when I pull it up, see it comes to more, I'm not sure I can get this, more of a V shape as opposed to just cutting straight off. It has a slight bit more flow. So I'm going to stop at this point and get ready. The pate choux is done, and now I'm going to get ready to pipe it.